Hi, I'm Rob Allen. I've been cleaning carpets for over 35 years, but most of y'all know me as the administrator or the owner of Truck Mount Forms for the last decade. You know, when it comes to carpet cleaning, there's basically a must-have short list that everybody needs on their truck. And when it comes to that list, at the very top or very close to it would be a CRB, a counter-rotating brush machine. Now, I know a lot of us think of it as a one-dimensional unit. However, I'd like to introduce you to the TMF Multi-Clean. And why do I call it the Multi-Clean? Because it cleans multiple surfaces and it does multiple things to set you apart from your competitor. How so? Let's take a look. Okay, when it comes to my own cleaning company, we use it for 8 different things. First thing we use it for is pre-vacuuming. Now, I know that a lot of you guys will take and use your vacuum cleaner to pre-vacuum, and that's great. But you can follow it with this to lift the pile up and separate it and get a whole lot more deeper dirt out of it. Plus, it's very impressive to the clients when you show them the extra stuff that you brought up. I know other cleaners will actually take and have their clients pre-vacuum before they get there, and then they'll just use this rather than doing both. That's also an alternative. That's totally up to you. But just remember, when you've got this on, it just slides on and off. And all you do once it's on, you run the machine. There's nothing wrong with bringing the client over and showing her the impressive amount of stuff that you reach down there and get out of there. Anything you can do to separate yourself from your competitors really makes a huge difference. When you use it for pre-vacuuming, you really don't need to do all the areas in the home. You basically just want to concentrate on traffic patterns, halls, and in front of sofas. Okay, let's move on to the second use, and that is pre-agitation for hot water extraction. I'll tell you what, this is a biggie in the carpet cleaning world. Why do I say that? Because after you've done pre-sprayed the carpets, you want to suspend that soil and break up and emulsify as much as possible. So when you go in with your rotary or your wand or whatever you're using, it'll rinse off real quickly for you. However, to accomplish that, you need something to really pre-agitate it well. A lot of people use all different types of equipment. However, we found the CRB just might be the king of all pre-agitation tools. Now, notice, you remember with a counter-rotating brush, you have one turning one way and one turning the other way. So you're really getting that maximum fiber reach, and I think that's really important. However, when I'm using it, I like to put this tray on there to keep anything from flinging around. So you just pop this on the same way you put your dust cover on. And now you can go right to pre-agitation. Again, just like for pre-vacuuming, you really just need to concentrate on the really soiled areas. That would be your traffic patterns. That would be halls, in front of sofas, dens, really dirty areas. Really give them that good deep agitation. Okay, our third use ties right in with our fourth and fifth use. Why do I say that? Because the third use is a standalone VLM machine, or very low moisture. And this really comes into handy when you're working around daycares, hotels, hospitals, rest homes, all those types of things where you need the carpets to dry extremely fast to remove any type of slip hazards. And it really does a fantastic job. It also works good as an interim cleaning unit between hot water extraction cleanings. So keep that in mind too. So now how does it tie in with the fourth and fifth? Well, the fourth and fifth is encapsulation or compound cleaning. Let's take a look at both of those also. When it comes to CGD cleaning, you really want to take the time, mist down your product real well after you've done pre-vacuum, and now you can go ahead and just go right over top of it. Remember, you're covering your 15-inch swath, and I really like that a lot. Also, if you do not set your machine inside of your tray, it will start to vibrate on you as you walk, so make sure you put it inside of your tray. Just wanted to show you that after we left it one night. Okay, here now we're working on some dry compound. This rug came in very tangled. I put weights on the ends of it, and it actually still goes across it really well. You want to make sure you mist the carpet down just slightly, and we're going to go back over top of it. But this was a viscose rug, so you want to make sure that you don't over wet it. That's where dry compound really comes in and makes a big difference on these type of rugs. Number 6 is another big one for carpet cleaners. The reason being is because a lot of carpet cleaners are getting into rug cleaning. And you want a machine that can perform well to be able to clean inside of a rug bath. You want something that can maybe do some standalone cleaning. Maybe you've got some very fine, delicate fabrics where you want to do some compound cleaning. Well, this is the ideal machine for it. Let's go ahead and take a look now. Now you notice I only like to fill the rug right up to the very top of it. Some people will go up to 2 inches higher. I'm not a real fan of that. Notice how well it's still working because those brushes are reaching down in there, grabbing the detergent and just scrubbing all sides of the fiber. I think that's really important. And I like to go back and forth in a nice sweeping motion, taking my time, really getting it a good deep cleaning before I'm going to do a complete flush afterwards. Number 7 is hard surface cleaning. And that's becoming another huge diversification for carpet cleaners because a lot of the carpet manufacturers are now developing hard surfaces, and it's become very popular in the market today. So we have to be able to adapt, and this is the perfect machine to adapt with because you come across a lot of floors that are very uneven. They might have some texture to it, some clefts, some valleys, or you got the faux finish hardwood floors that are made of ceramic or porcelain. It's very difficult to get into those grooves and really get it nice and clean. However, a counter rotating brush machine really gets down there nicely. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how that does. Notice how I've got the nice stiff brushes on there, and it really works its way down inside there and gets inside your grout lines and also the grooves and the clefts and on the tile and grout, whatever you come across. Remember, you can also use it on natural and false stone. So I think that's very important to be able to have that capability to be able to do both. It won't harm it, and yet it still does a great deep cleaning. Last but not least, number 8 is pile lifting. Instead of having to buy a whole separate different machine to be able to lift the pile up of these new generation type carpets, polyesters and olefins which crush easy, you pick yourself up this machine right here and you can lift the pile up after you're done cleaning, whether you cleaned with hot water extraction or whether you clean with VLM. It really grooms the carpets and makes a nice impression for your clients. So many carpets these days are being made out of polyester and acrylics and olefins, and they just crush so easy and so fast. So to be able to follow up and do a nice pile lift can really make a difference in the appearance and set you apart. You know, there's a few different brands on the market of CRBs. Why choose the TMF Multi-Clean? We feel it's the best machine on the market and we stand behind it 100%. If you're not happy with it, within 30 days, send it back and get a refund. On top of it, we give you a 2-year guarantee, standing behind the machine completely. And remember some of the great features that come along with it. You can clean the side of a rug pit up to 2 inches. It's ultra quiet. It's well built, very durable. It also has tandem capabilities, so you can put 2 machines together and clean large paths in a commercial location. There's also 5 different types of brushes that are available, as we've covered earlier. It also comes with your different covers and a little carry bag to carry it with, along with the tray so you can set in there and it doesn't distort the brushes. All right, well that kind of covers everything about the machine. Please remember, if you could support TMF, we really do appreciate it. Remember, we have the forum. If you're not a member, become a member. If you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel and also maybe become a member of our TMF Facebook. Well, I'm Rob Allen with Truck Mount Forums. I hope that you'll get a chance to see all the benefits and where this can fit into your cleaning company and make a big difference for you also, like it has for my company. Have yourself a great day. One hand, you want to have a rubber mallet, a Phillips and straight head screwdriver. You want to have a drive. You want to have your gear. You also want to have a nice electric screwdriver. Okay, let's go about taking and disassembling it. First, you want to pop your wheels off the back. Very simple to do, to slide it to the left. You want to slide the front cover off. Put everything to the side and nice and neatly and organized. Now we're going to pop the cord down and remove the handle with the quick spring clips. All right, move that out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out the pins for the brushes, one at a time. Just gently working them in and out of there. It's no problem. Set it to the side. I like to leave it in tray while I do this, and you're going to see in a second why. Okay, so now I can just go ahead and lift the whole unit, and notice how easy the brushes come out? I really like that. Now you notice how easy the tray sits there. Now notice these little markers here, the indicators. When your brushes get down that low, it's time to replace your brushes. All right, let's get the machine back here and let's get to work on it. Okay, what we want to do first of all is we want to go ahead and remove the outer cover. So we'll get it into position. There's going to be 4 screws for that. 2 on each side, and they're Phillips heads. And take your time and don't strip them or anything. I like using the electric screwdriver because it just goes a little quicker for me. So you get the first 2 out, flip it around, and pop the other 2 out. I'm going to show you how to disassemble the whole machine, replace the gear, and then in picture form, I'm going to show you how to put it back together in reverse, just to make sure you don't forget anything. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to slide your cover off. Just kind of pop it loose lightly, especially if it's the first time you've ever taken it off. It's going to be a little snug. Then just go ahead. I like to move the handle a little bit. Backwards, there you go. And then I'll just slide the whole face cover right off of there, which basically exposes the whole motor assembly. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and switch out to the hex, because I want to remove the 3 screws that are holding the plate where the gears are located. Pop it on there, and you want to take your time. You never want to strip the head of these threads. Very simple if you do it correctly and take your time. And put them back in place. I like to put everything in its place, so when I put it back together, I just follow that reverse pattern. And there's 3 of them. 2 of them are shorter than the very bottom one that's below your brush drive, which is the last one I'm pulling out right now. Okay, then I gently pop the cover off. That's how easy it comes off. And I want to make sure I save my lock washers. So I kind of turn it sideways, pop those, and put them right with the screws. Don't lose those. Don't lose any parts. Take your time to do it correctly. Okay, now you notice everything's exposed up top there. So now I want to go ahead and release that plate that holds all those in there. And notice how they're compactly put in there. Sometimes you're going to notice one might get stripped. It's a safety for the motor so you don't damage the motor. All right, I'm going to use that same hex. I'm going to go ahead now and remove all the hex screws to go ahead and hold this plate into place. Take your time, put them right back where you're going to be able to find them easily when you go to put the unit back. This whole process really doesn't take that long once you get the hang of it. Now in the very middle there is a Phillips head screw. Make sure you get that out of there, or it's not going to pop apart on you. A couple other little items I'm going to show you here in a second too you want to pay special attention to before you take your rubber mallet to release that plate. Here you've got a spring clip. The spring clip holds the handle. You want to pop that off so the head will come off. Here's your spring that holds your lever on too for go ahead and adjusting the machine. Now notice I'm taking out the capacitor. There's a white one and a black one. They just screw out regular counterclockwise. And you want to put them clockwise back in when you're putting them in. Just gently work your way and unscrew them and set them to the side. Being very soft with everything. And even though it's a pretty durable unit, you still want to be as gentle as possible with everything. Keep it in good shape and not do any damage to it. Just kind of set those to the side. Now you can take your rubber mallet, pop under it, and notice how easily this removes. And exposes all 5 of the gears. Now, I'm going to show you here, these are the 3 that you have to take the whole machine apart to be able to access those 3 gears. The 2 blue ones you don't have to. Now notice this is a little bit larger here, so you want to get a little bit larger hex. And you want to go ahead, we're going to replace one just to show you how it's done. I'm going to go ahead and loosen it. It's a slightly larger hex head. Pull it out of there, set it to the side. Now you're going to notice the first time you ever take this out, it's a very good tight machine fit. So you want to take something and pop it out, but being very careful not to do any damage. Just really softly pop it out. Notice how easily the gear comes out when I did that? There it is. And that's generally just going to be 1 or 2 damage. Now notice the direction of the gears. Make sure you get the right one going in the right direction. All right, time to reassemble it now. When I put it in there, I like to move it around, make sure that all the gears are turning properly. And then it's flush. Don't force anything so you don't damage or strip your new gears. That's basically counterproductive for sure. Go ahead and snug it back in there. Remember, don't ever over tighten. You don't have to strip it, but you want it snug enough that it doesn't come apart on you. So you're looking for that balance when you're reassembling the machine. I'm also still going to double check it, make sure everything's turning and functioning properly before I put it back together, because that would really work against me if I didn't. All right, now it's time to go ahead and put the unit back together, and I'm going to show you in picture form how to put it back together and a couple tips you want to pay attention to as you're doing such. Okay, make sure that your bearing is in flush before you put it back together. Very important. Also make sure your screws are in there properly. You see where they go for the rods. Do not forget this center screw. Put it in nice and flush. Of course, your capacitors. You got your white one and your black one on each side. Screw those back in nice and gently, but snug enough that they hold properly. Make sure your spring clip is back on your handle. Notice how flush I've got it sitting back on there properly? It has to be there. Also, I put a piece of blue tape here so I can go ahead and hold the handle lever into position. That way I can just slide it back up and I can go ahead and put my spring clip right back on. Now it's time to put the cover back on. Slide the cover back over. Go ahead and put your 4 screws back in. Notice the washers there. Make sure your washers are in place. Now when it comes to maintaining the machine, you want to make sure right in here you can go ahead and put your lithium grease right between the gears. Put a nice fresh amount in there, but don't overdo it. Okay, now it's time to put your plate cover back on. Make sure you clean the plate inside if it has gotten dirty. Notice your 3 screws. Notice the one is longer than the other 2. Just make sure that you don't forget your lock washers. Remember, we set those to the side when you put this cover back on. Now you want to put your back cover on. Notice the little knob right there. You want to make sure that's in position. Then your front cover, slide that back on. Now it's time to put your brushes back in. Make sure you put that in properly. Don't force anything. Just kind of hand put it in. Don't ever hit it with a hammer. Go ahead and put your handle back on and you're good to go.